Hello there, and welcome to a video where the big three disappear. Now if you don't know what I'm talking about with the big three, I'm talking the Russians, the Chinese and the Americans. They all just disappear off the map. They sink into the ocean, which is a bit interesting. And if we just ignore the fact that the world's economies start to go on fire, and the fact that almost 2 billion people have just been wiped off the planet, we have a good scenario, which if this were to happen in real life, everyone would just collapse. We would see the end of civilization, basically, because there's not very good economies to prop us up. But in this scenario, we now have India as the dominant power. They were 4th place in strength, and now they are officially 1st place since the people in front of them have just all disappeared. Questionable. And Russia's claims over here in Ukraine, they just suddenly disappear as well. Now, if we go for the scenario, because there's many scenarios, I mean many scenarios that we can think of. You could have NATO breaking up, you could have NATO fighting amongst themselves, but if we go for the scenario, which I'm going to use today, is that NATO consolidates, no one fights each other, and they try and spread democracy across the world. Now, what we could see happening is definitely the jumping of the Belarusians, just everyone declaring war on them, and they'll just get turned into a non-dictator democratic government. We could see the same thing happening for Hungary. We could see the same thing happening for Serbia. They could be taking land. I'm pretty sure no one really wants to take land. Bulgaria probably won't, since all their beef with Serbia has gone since the 2 world wars. Most of it anyway. So if we assume that no land is taken from Serbia, they'll also become like Hungary and Belarus, and basically we'll also see a bunch of other countries joining NATO, like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, maybe Vietnam, probably not though. And also there's now only one China, so this video will probably ban in the other China, which is now in the ocean. Also, Korean War will definitely happen, supported by Japan and NATO. Even though North Korea has nukes, we're just going to ignore the possibility that they use them and say that if they do, they use it lightly, or they miss, or the things get sabotaged. And now there's only one Korea. Also guys, have you heard of the island of Europe, or the island of Mongolia, or Korea, or get this, the island of Canada? They're all islands now, since Europe doesn't really connect to anyone, because even this is a strait, and their way to connect to Asia is gone by the Russian things. Everything gone in Russia. They're under the ocean now. They just get wiped from existence. They get Thanos snapped. Now, what else we could see is India, since they're India, and since they're the dominant power, we could just see the invasion of Pakistan. Now, I know that they'll hold out, but let's face it, Pakistan, when you're against now the strongest country in the entire world, and probably, you're cooked. And now there's also multiple scenarios for this with India. They could go all expansionist and take over everyone, but in this video I've decided not to do that. And what are they going to do? They're going to work with NATO, that's right, and they're going to spread democracy across the world, probably starting in the Stan countries, since they're closest to India, Mongolia. More democracy in Southeast Asia, probably invasions into Myanmar and Afghanistan, and also invasions in Iran, which we will just have a quick look at. Probably have the Saudis and Turks versus the Iranians, and it's just, do I even need to colour this in? We know what's going to happen, especially with NATO backing this. And we could see no land being taken, but at this point I'm just going to say, you know what, Turkey will take some land here, I'll give Saudi Arabia some land here, set up a republic over here, Saudi takes land over here, another republic over here, just some stuff. Now they can actually get a pretty good border with Azerbaijan. We will probably see the Kurdish state never forming, which is a bit sad for the Kurdish, but you can get your video later, guys. Armenia will probably get jumped by Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Georgia's probably just going to ignore them, as now they can consolidate the fact that South Ossetia and Abkhazia now technically have got no one supporting them. So Armenia now has to deal with the fact that Turkey and Azerbaijan and stuff, and basically let's just say is that the whole world will just start shifting to the West in ideology and will democracy, and maybe, just maybe, they can unite into one single country, the entire world. You could call it Earth, but that will probably not happen. But still, basically, what I'm trying to say is countries like Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, countries like Turkmenistan, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Myanmar, North Korea, all these countries in Africa, Asia, everywhere, are going to get invaded or Kurd for a democratic government, basically. There's nothing stopping the West from doing this. There's literally no one to say no. Like, even the countries which could say no, like Iran or Pakistan, will probably get folded over. Like, there's no huge resistance to stop the behemoth of NATO and India combined. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I would like you to think about what could happen in the future, or different scenarios for this. You can entertain yourself with that, just like NATO collapsing and everyone fighting each other, or India going expansionist instead of allying with NATO. It's all up to you. But in the scenario which I've just created, the West consolidates power and turns every single country to either cooperate with them or full-on democracy. And yeah, I'll leave you to think about that, and I'll leave you to have fun, and I will go and have fun editing this video. So with that, goodbye.